Hey Manoj,
Hey, yeah.
so I was just reading and I came across this really cool incident. Do you know about the Roswell crash?
Wasn't that just an Air Force balloon?
I mean, I'm pretty sure it wasn't. According to me, the US government was just trying to cover up the truth.
So you're trying to say it was a UFO that crashed?
Yes, I mean, think about it. A flying disc? What else could it be?
Wasn't the incident thoroughly investigated? And later, as far as I remember, a retired lieutenant colonel came out and told the story. Plus, a few reports were released about the same by the US Air Force.
Hmm, I'm still not convinced though.
If you don't know what it is, you can't then say it was because of aliens. Believe me, if there was life out there, this wouldn't be it.
Oh, please. Stop trying to act like you don't believe in extraterrestrial life. Deep down, I know you're an EP admirer.
Don't you dare go there! ET is cute, and I love him.
Okay, Manoj. Jokes apart, do you think life exists somewhere out there?
Maybe or maybe not, but I'm not sure if I'm the right person to answer this. So, with that, we would like to call upon our panelists to shed some light on the same.
So, what life actually means is it is a chemical system capable of self-sustenance and metabolic activities, and reproduction and all the basic activities that we as human beings perform to live along, like continue our race. So that is what life means, and that is what a living being is. uh how life originated and all that is not much in my knowledge.
It's a controversial thing, na? Like how life came about. We don't know.
Let me tell you about it. So, abiogenesis is the very idea that life arose from non life more than 3.5 billion years ago on Earth. And abiogenesis basically proposes the fact that the first life forms generated were very simple, and through a gradual process, they became increasingly complex. Biogenesis.
Oishiki.
Hmm.
So, what from what I know about abiogenesis is only this much. Like it originated from inorganic matter to form these basic living blocks that make us all up, like these cells and RNA, etc. This is what life actually was long ago. Is there anything which talks about the propagation of life and all? Like maybe more about abiogenesis?
That also has its own conspiracy theories, actually. A lot of scientists started to equate abiogenesis with the archaic theory of spontaneous generation, although these two ideas are actually very, very different. According to the latter, complex life was thought to arise spontaneously from non living matter, while the abiogenesis hypothetical process was disproved and as early as the 17th century. And honestly, abiogenesis has neither been proved nor disapproved of. However, the propagation of life was experimented and given off by two different theories, namely the Oparin-Haldane theory and was later confirmed by the Miller-Urey experiment.
Guys, I just think an asteroid hit the Earth which had bacteria or something in it, and it spontaneously evolved
Suprit,
into life.
what we are saying that is panspermia. It is also a separate theory.
We
Like it
played
talks
this
about
game. It's called Spore. Okay, so it was game from 2008. Has anyone played that?
Yeah,
Yeah.
Any?
I've
I've
played
heard
it.
about it.
Oh my god, yes. Thank you. So it was yeah, it's basically a game that records your progress from the beginning. You land on a random planet as an asteroid, and the asteroid has life. It lands in the ocean. The ocean first has microbial life, then it advances to higher forms of microbial life, then higher forms of multicellular life.
Yes. See, when you show this thing to a child, he'll be like, "Wow!" and he'll be like, "Yes, it's a nice game." And when you show it to scientists, they'll be like, "What we've spent our whole lives in, settings this theory, and you're putting into a game, and what do we do now?" Like,
I mean, come on, I know that, but like it's at least a good game to get into. It just gets you curious about. It really does. I mean, I
uh,
really enjoyed it. I played it
It
like seven.
provides Why not? It provides a basic idea to
Yeah,
the kids who probably would
exactly.
not sit down and listen to documentaries by scientists.
Exactly the point. Like,
They-
come on.
They'd rather sit down, play the game, and who knows, they could learn so much more than what the scientists could teach a little kid.
Ah,
that
and
game
also,
went, and like you had these multicellular life forms, and then you would go on to land eventually, like what we think happened on Earth, and then these guys would be creatures that would hunt other creatures or get hunted. You don't know.
so
Uh,
coming back to the extraterrestrial life. So, what being an Indian and being raised in an Indian household, what makes me think of an extraterrestrial life is a blue alien, our favorite Jadoo, and he's screaming like "Dhoop, dhoop." That is what has been plugged into my mind when we talk about extraterrestrial life.
I really hope you've not just watched one movie, bro, because that's not
No,
my image
no,
of
I,
that's not my image
no.
of aliens for sure. So I feel really sad for you if that's the first thing that comes to your mind.
Extraterrestrial life, what it literally means is something which has not, been on Earth, like originated on Earth, and it can be found sustaining itself and all the characters of living beings, exhibiting all these characteristics outside Earth. This can be categorized as extraterrestrial life. This is what actually extraterrestrial life means.
What, according to me, what people tend to ignore is the fact that such type of life could range from simple, prokaryotes to intelligent beings, and even sapient species, possibly bringing civilizations which are much more advanced than humanity. A few equations do stand by scientists which speculate the existence of sapient life elsewhere. And this branch of study is actually called astrobiology. And a lot of people have active ongoing research on this same. However, we've never had concrete proof to actually be aware of the fact that there is confirmed an extraterrestrial life and that they could be sapient features on their own.
Okay, Oishiki, thank you for destroying my dream of seeing a Jadoo by talking about unicellular organisms.
the Indian dream shattered.
But it is. She has a point though, right? They don't need to be sapient or in any form we are comfortable with. If he extends a limb, you don't know what that is or how to greet us, right?
That's so true.
Okay, okay, that didn't sound very nice. Okay.
This
For
reminds me of
example,
that. This reminds me of that book and that movie, Endgame, in which, right,
Avengers, na?
The game is full
No,
of aliens.
it wasn't Avengers. Okay, never mind.
okay,
so
let's say for
basically,
example,
humans destroy this bee colony. But basically, they're like big bees, not very sentient, very smart. So they come in and they destroy humanity. What they meant to say was hi, because for them, if a few bees die, it doesn't matter, not until the queen dies. So humans thought they were under attack and they killed them all. But that wasn't their intent.
Bro, moment.
Like terrorists are all the way saying hi
That
to us.
escalated
They're
quickly.
not killing anyone. They're saying hi.
what?
Big brain moment. Next time I see a terrorist with a suitcase, I'll go and shake my hand.
He'll probably hand you the suitcase itself.
Since we were talking about extraterrestrial life and which planet could we possibly ever habitat in, do you think there's any way we could shortlist planets that could possibly harbor life in the future?
I think we definitely can, and this has been an active area of research for over a century now. There have been many organizations that are actively on the hunt for exoplanets which could be habitable. So the primary condition that is required is we need an area that can sustain extended regions of liquid water, because water is something that is very critical to life as we know it. And then the next thing we need is the ability for complex organic molecules to assemble. And then we need energy so that these complex organic molecules can have metabolism and then can grow, evolve, and reproduce. So, putting all these conditions together, you can actually shortlist a lot of regions in the universe where life could be habitable. In fact, for many star systems, there's an entire region called the Goldilocks zone, which is neither too hot nor too cold for liquid water to sustain, where life is indeed could be habitable. But the interesting part is, in all the areas we have pinpointed that they could be habitable, we still haven't found life. So, that naturally brings me to the question. We are simply extrapolating what we know about life on Earth to life outside Earth. So, like, does life need to be carbon based? This question is something that has always bugged me. What if life is silicon based and everything we know about life is just false?
Okay, so Suprit, see, I'll answer what you're asking. But one thing which comes to my mind when you talk about the Goldilocks zone, it is like, there are the moons of the Jupiter, and there are some planets like far beyond Uranus and Neptune,
Mhm.
which we generally go about theorizing, like, yes, that they can harbor life. Like, what do you think is the reason? They are far from the Goldilocks zone of our solar system. What do you think is the reason that we like even think of finding life there?
I think like the primary reason is they have extended regions of water. Yeah, albeit it's frozen water, but still, I mean, I think it's Europa. If I'm not correct, if I'm not wrong, Europa has a huge ocean which is frozen pretty much. So I think that's the reason why we look forward to maybe life being possible there, because water is indeed critical to carbon-based life.
Yes, like when you talk about this, it can also be like I get this image into my mind. Like even if there's frozen water somewhere, like what is going on nowadays is that Perseverance rover. Even if there is frozen water on some planet, it can be like the life which existed a long ago on that planet might be embedded into that ice or whatever it is, and we can find it there.
Dang, that's actually a very interesting thought. Maybe we could. And when you bring into equation things like tardigrades, which are very, very, very small multicellular organisms which can survive in extremely extreme conditions, be it in the International Space Station or like exposed to the sun and the space directly. What if like there could be tardigrades just floating around
See,
the vast
yeah,
ice sheets in
sometimes I
Europa?
get the image, sometimes I get the image like, the whole universe was created and humanity has reached so far, and, tardigrades be like, I don't know. And they are, just floating and floating. And then, the entire human race gets destroyed. Sorry for being too dark. The entire human race is destroyed, and tardigrades still be like, yo, I don't care.
See, I told you aliens exist. And who knows, tardigrades might actually be aliens who came here.
Good doesn't mean that it would here.
Oh,
But that is an interesting thought though. Why don't you hold on to it until we meet next time, where our panelists could tell us more on how life can be found around other systems?
but as you said, good doesn't mean wood.
Well, they will, because we already recorded that.